episode 114. There was a bang and shouts from below, louder than ever. It sounded as though people were fighting on the actual spiral staircase that led to where Dumbledore, Malfoy, and Harry stood. And Harry's heart thundered unheard in his invisible chest. Someone was dead. Malfoy had stepped over the body. But who was it? There is little time, one way or another, said Dumbledore. So let us discuss your options, Draco.
My options, said Malfoy loudly. I'm standing here with a wand. I'm about to kill you.
My dear boy, let us have no more pretense about that. If you were going to kill me, you would have done it when you first disarmed me. You would not have stopped for this pleasant chat about ways and means.
I haven't got any options,
said Malfoy, and he was suddenly white as Dumbledore.
I've got to do it. He'll kill me. He'll kill my whole family.
I appreciate the difficulty of your position, said Dumbledore. Why else do you think I have not confronted you before now? Because I knew that you would have been murdered if Lord Voldemort realized that I suspected you. Malfoy winced at the sound of the name. I did not dare speak to you of the mission with which I knew you had been entrusted, in case he used legitimacy against you, continued Dumbledore. But now at last we can speak plainly to each other. No harm has been done. You have hurt nobody, though you are very lucky that your unintentional victims survived. I can help you, Draco.
No, you can't,
said Malfoy, his hand shaking very badly indeed.
Nobody can. He told me to do it or he'd kill me. I've got no choice.
Come over to the right side, Draco, and we can hide you more completely than you can possibly imagine. What is more, I can send members of the Order to your mother tonight to hide her likewise. Your father is safe at the moment in Azkaban. When the time comes, we can protect him too. Come over to the right side, Draco. You are not a killer. Malfoy stared at Dumbledore.
But I got this far, didn't I? He said slowly. They thought I'd die in the attempt, but I'm here. And you're in my power. I'm the one with the wand. You're at my mercy.
No, Draco, said Dumbledore quietly. It is my mercy and not yours that matters now. Malfoy did not speak. His mouth was open, his wand hand still trembling. Harry thought he saw it drop by a fraction. But suddenly footsteps were thundering up the stairs, and a second later Malfoy was buffeted out of the way as 4 people in black robes burst through the door onto the ramparts. Still paralyzed, his eyes staring unblinkingly, Harry gazed in terror upon 4 strangers. It seemed the Death Eaters had won the fight below. A lumpy-looking man with an odd, lopsided leer gave a wheezy giggle. "Dumbledore cornered," he said, as he turned to a stocky little woman who looked as though she could be his sister, and who was grinning eagerly. "Dumbledore wandless! Dumbledore alone! Well done, Draco! Well done!" "Good evening, Amicus," said Dumbledore calmly, as though welcoming the man to a tea party. "And you've brought Alecto, too. Charming." The woman gave an angry little titter. "Think your little jokes will help you on your deathbed, then?" she jeered. "Jokes? No, these are manners," replied Dumbledore. "Do it," said the stranger, standing nearest to Harry. A big, rangy man with matted hair and whiskers, whose black Death Eater's robes looked uncomfortably tight. He had a voice like none that Harry had ever heard, a rasping bark of a voice. Harry could smell a powerful mixture of dirt, sweat, and unmistakably of blood coming from him. His filthy hands had long, yellowish nails. "Is that you, Fenrir?" asked Dumbledore.
"That's right," rasped the other. "Pleased to see me, Dumbledore."
"No, I cannot say that I am." Greyback grinned, showing pointed teeth. Blood trickled down his chin, and he licked his lips slowly, obscenely.
"But you know how much I like kids, Dumbledore."
"Am I to take it that you are attacking even without the full moon now? This is most unusual. You have developed a taste for human flesh that cannot be satisfied once a month."
"That's right," said Fenrir Greyback. "Shocks you that, does it, Dumbledore? Frightens you?"
"Well, I cannot pretend it does not disgust me a little," said Dumbledore. "And yes, I am a little shocked that Draco here invited you, of all people, into the school where his friends live."
"I didn't,"
breathed Malfoy. He was not looking at Fenrir. He did not seem to want to even glance at him.
"I didn't know he was going to come." "I wouldn't want to miss a trip to Hogwarts, Dumbledore," rasped Greyback. "Not when there are throats to be ripped out. Delicious, delicious."
And he raised a yellow fingernail and picked at his front teeth, leering at Dumbledore.
"I could use you for afters, Dumbledore."
"No," said the fourth Death Eater sharply. He had a heavy, brutal-looking face.
"We've got orders. Draco's got to do it. Now, Draco, and quickly."
Malfoy was showing less resolution than ever. He looked terrified as he stared into Dumbledore's face, which was even paler and rather lower than usual, as he had slid so far down the rampart wall.
"He's not long for this world anyway, if you ask me," said the lopsided man, to the accompaniment of his sister's wheezing giggles. "Look at him. What's happened to you then, Dumby?"
"Oh, weaker resistance, slower reflexes, Amicus," said Dumbledore. "Old age, in short. One day, perhaps, it will happen to you, if you are lucky."
"What's that mean? What's that mean?" yelled the Death Eater, suddenly violent. "Always the same, ain't you, Dumby? Talking and doing nothing, nothing. I don't even know why the Dark Lord's bothering to kill you. Come on, Draco, do it!"
But at that moment there were renewed sounds of scuffling from below, and a voice shouted, "They've blocked the stairs! Reducto! Reducto!" Harry's heart leapt. So these four had not eliminated all opposition, but merely broken through the fight to the top of the tower, and by the sound of it created a barrier behind them.
"Now, Draco, quickly!"
said the brutal-faced man angrily. But Malfoy's hand was shaking so badly that he could barely aim.
"I'll do it!"
snarled Fenrir, moving toward Dumbledore with his hands outstretched, his teeth bared.
"I said no!"
shouted the brutal-faced man. There was a flash of light, and the werewolf was blasted out of the way. He hit the ramparts and staggered, looking furious. Harry's heart was hammering so hard it seemed impossible that nobody could hear him standing there, imprisoned by Dumbledore's spell. If he could only move, he could aim a curse from under the cloak.
"Draco, do it or stand aside so one of us can!"
screeched the woman. But at that precise moment, the door to the ramparts burst open once more, and there stood Snape, his wand clutched in his hand as his black eyes swept the scene from Dumbledore, slumped against the wall, to the four Death Eaters, including the enraged werewolf and Malfoy.
"We've got a problem, Snape,"
said the lumpy Amicus, whose eyes and wand were fixed alike upon Dumbledore.
"The boy doesn't seem able."
But somebody else had spoken Snape's name, quite softly. "Severus